Hello everybody. So today what we're going to be doing is I'm going to give you a tutorial, a breakdown exactly how to research and cite your research paper for me going into my history class. But for Professor Lopez, solely specifically speaking for Harper College. Now I'm going to go ahead and just make sure you know this. Please look at the guidelines for the research paper and or the assignment that you're going to be doing that needs to have sources and scholarly work. All right, I'm going to leave that to you all to see what it is. So I'm making a general one here so that way folks can at least learn about it and use it when it's applicable. So a couple things that I'm going to do is I'm going to take you back all the way through how I want you to start your research. So first and foremost, being a Harper College student, you have access to the library and everything that the library has to offer you. In this case, I'm right here in Harper College. Let's just say you're going from the Harper College main website. I went ahead and I clicked on library, right? It's right on the top. It gives me a nice intro to the Harper College library. For doing research, and especially the ones when we're looking at articles, journal articles that have been actually peer reviewed and scrutinized by a lot of these different scholars. All right, that's why we're looking into this. You go over here to the Harper College library site, you click on research, right? Scroll over top, and then it's going to give you an option for databases. That's what we're going to click. Okay, once you're into this databases, it's going to give you a nice alphabet soup for you. I want you to go ahead and click in J. All right, let me just do that one more time. Again, let's go ahead all the way through it. We're going to Harper College library, going to research, databases, and J, because guess what? Right there, JSTOR. That's what we're clicking on. Go ahead and click that. I'm going to tell you this right now. I am at a Harper College station, a workstation, so I didn't have to put in any of my credentials because I already did there. You might get a screen here that tells you please put in your Harper ID and password. Once you do that, it's going to give you the nice entry into JSTOR. Now, JSTOR, just for those of you who don't know, it is a nice kind of marketplace for scholars to present their work. And this is why it's trusted. It's not your Wikipedias, it's not your Google Scholars. This one is done by university researchers and researchers alike that are going in order to get into JSTOR. They have to have their articles, essays, all of the research that they do, they have to have it read, edited, given back to them. Then they go back to the drawing board, re-edit, take in those notes of those other scholars, present it. Once it goes through all of that process, it is then put up into JSTOR. This is why it is a trusted site. I'm going to tell you this right now. It is academic currency right here to get into JSTOR. So this you can use at any type of academic research that you're trying to do. JSTOR is key right here for you all. So this is the ones that we're going to be using for my class. All right. Just because JSTOR has so many articles, we're going to go ahead and look at advanced search. All right. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to put into, you can already see my browsing history. Let me just get into the women in Chicano movement. I would say that's my general topic that I'm going to have us talk about today. So here's my search topic. Could be anything really that your research is going to be looking at. So you put in that advanced search. I want to know articles. Okay, this is going to be big. Don't click on reviews. You don't need books. Just click on articles. It's going to really start to filter down some of those unnecessary things. And then also, because of course, as you see, this is a long list, go ahead and just click history. So again, history filter. Over here in articles filter, you have your topic. Let's go ahead and search. All right, so you see there's a lot of search items even still, 639. If I didn't do advanced search, this thing would be thousands and thousands and thousands. What I did is I went ahead and just downloaded one already. You can see here, you'll be able to download PDF. I definitely suggest you do that. You'll download it, accept their terms, and then this way you can print it out and use it. So right here, I have a downloaded one already that I found earlier, and this is what we're gonna use. All right, so this is one. Let's go ahead and just, because I want to use two, I'm going to go there, do the same thing again. I'm going to go to the JSTOR homepage, click on advanced search, and then I'm going to look at the American Indian movement. Again, another general one that I just thought about putting in there. So again, articles. Let's go ahead and filter this. In this case, I can use American Indian Studies. If you're doing this, you just take a look at these ones. If you're looking at art history, Asian studies, etc., 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 you can definitely go in and click some good filters. But again, I am going to use history as well. Go ahead and search again. All right, and I'll just use this first one. So I'll go ahead, I'll download this one. Like I told you, I already did this in preparation of this. So I went ahead and two. So now I have my two PDF articles that, of course, in any research project, you actually have to read. So, of course, you're going to read all this information, take some notes, do all that kind of good stuff, right? So that way you learn the material. So these are the two ones that I would want to use in a research paper. Now, how would I go about, once I have all this information read, how do I go about putting it into paper? All right. So when you're doing something for me, whether it be research papers and anything, you're going to have to cite. So you're going to have to cite the work, because all of this information is not yours. And that means, according to academic honesty, you always have to cite. You have to quote when you're going to use something directly, and you have to paraphrase and give a, when you do paraphrase, say, for example, you want to paraphrase something like whatever this author is using, you have to give credit to that author. Okay, so we'll do this in a number of different ways. Let me go ahead over to my Microsoft Word. We are going to use Word just for this instance, so please, if you're accessible to Harper's website, I'm sorry, the actual location of Harper, any of our workstations have Microsoft Word. So again, that's another thing here, as well as you can download a nice one there for us. So Microsoft Word is what we're going to use. It's super easy to use right here. I have both of my articles already taken care of, but let me go ahead and just show you exactly how I did this. All right. In one case, you have the women in the Chicano movement, and the other one being about the American Indian movement. So right here, I went ahead and I kind of cheated a little bit. I made myself a nice Article 1. I got the title. Here's the title, Women in the Chicano Movement, right? And here is the author right there, Nanette Regua. We have Chicano Latina Studies. This right here, the source, that is just another fancy word for, this is the journal name. All right, so that's how I go ahead and get into it. And then we see the page numbers, we see the year of the journal, we have the number, and we have the volume. The reason why this is important to take down is because if anybody who is going to read your work, I know exactly where you got the information, and I can go back and I can locate it. That's why it's very important when you're using Chicago style citation. All right, so I have it all right here for me. You don't have to do this. As again, like I said, I just cheated and I wanted to show you in real action. All right, did the same thing right here. You have the title of the actual article, you have the author, you have the name of the journal, the volume, the number, and again, the year. You don't have to worry about putting spring, special issue, and all that kind of stuff. Just 2014 is what you need, and the page numbers. Okay. All right. So let's get into it. In this case, I'm gonna just mock through how you, when you start your writing, are going to have to put it. So in this case, this is my research paper. This is the body paragraph number 1, and I have so much to say. Here's the quote that I decided to use from this article, right? So you're going, you're writing, you're reading, but now it comes to a point where you want to use an actual quote. So you go over here to references, and into your references in Microsoft Word, there have a note here of footnotes. Now, Chicago style citation uses and requires footnotes, right? So this is exactly where you would go, right? So again, I just went right after I'm done with the quote. Here's the quote that you use, period, direct quote, close quote, and then I go over here to references, insert footnote. All right, now it's going to give me at the bottom of the page where I need to actually put the citation. Let's take, for example, article number 1. Here's how you cite in text Chicago style citation. First thing I'm going to need is I'm going to need the author's name. All right, always good to know who actually wrote the article. All right, I'm going to use a comma, separate that. I need the title now. There goes the title. In this case, because the title is from a journal article, it needs to be in quotations. It is not a book title where that would require italices. So in this case, you need to have quotes by the actual title of that. All right. Now I went to my journal, and as you can see already, because I told you I cheated a little bit going ahead of time, Chicana/Latina Studies and the volume number 12, they're all italicized. That is important. These are little things, but these are things that you want to make sure you have correct because they will cost you points. All right, so again, Chicana/Latina Studies, the volume number 12, that's all italicized. You put a comma there. Here's the number of the actual volume followed by the year, or in this case, the year, 2012. Okay, you're going to notice there's a couple things here I want to make sure I talk to you about. Here's the comma. I need to have the page number for where I quoted. All right, so here is a quote that I decided to use from the article. You read this article, right? You decided to read this article, and let's just say you wanted, during the course of reading it, you wanted to use a quote. Let's just say Chicanas in San Jose heard the call to activism to become involved in the grassroots organization. Say you want to use that quote, all right? What page number did it come off of? Well, here it says it came from 115. So that way, when I'm reading your work, I'm going to know that that quote came from page 115. All right. That is exactly how you want to do your in-text citation. So again, author name, first name, last name, comma, title of the article in quotes. Then you have your italicized journal, right? The number of that journal right here, year, and then finally the page number that you took that from. Okay, let's try something else. This is exactly what we're going to be doing. It gets a little bit easier at this point. So this is my second body paragraph, and this is a paraphrase quote that I put in my own words, but decided to use some stats about 450 people involved in some event that I read about in Article 1. All right, it's paraphrased, and that means you need to cite it. So we're doing the same thing. However, there is no quote that we follow. So in this case, you still need to cite it, and you still need a footnote. However, it gets a little bit easier in this case. Because you're using Chicago style, you have already given that very first citation, the whole thing. Now, all you have to do the second time you choose to use a paraphrase, a quote from the article that you have already mentioned, all you have to do is say, I got this one from page 100. That paragraph came from 120. So I decided to use some of that, put in my own words, and here is where I show my reader that I got this from somewhere else. So you're giving credit to the article that you yourself are using in your notes. All right. So in this case, that's all it needs. That's it. You're done. All right. Here comes in the second part. I told you we would do article number 2. This is going to be article number 2. Let's say I also wanted to show the professor that I can make connections between articles, so I decided to add some statistics that I found from another article. That's very smart. I found this great quote and I couldn't paraphrase, so I decided to use a quote from the second article that I read, highlighting and underlining red because, of course, you did read and you want to always make sure you demonstrate that you read. So how do you do that? All right. So I have still this second article that I have read, and now I want to go ahead and use it. I use this direct quote. Let's say I use this direct quote from number 15. I wanted to use this. Perfect. All right. So I need to go ahead and make a second in-text citation for a new article. As I told you, I already kind of cheated through it, and I said I have all of this done. So in this case, here is the quote, the quotation. I need to have a citation here. Let me go ahead and put that footnote. Number 3 is ready for me to use. All right, here's the article author, Elizabeth Cook Lynn. Let's see, this is exactly what she titled her article as. Same thing, doing the same thing here, right? Always got to have that comma. Got to separate it through. It's just the style of the way they do it. Okay, here's the journal. Have this all ready to go. Just a nice copy and paste in it. Okay. All right, and as I told you, we took this one from page 15, right? Remember that when I just said that? So page 15 is where I got this direct quote. So I need to make sure that the professor knows this is exactly where this information comes from. All right, that's it. You'll see this, and if you want to use Purdue OWL, which is a real good source as well, anywhere they're going to also show that you can put in the URL. But believe me, I've had people turn in papers with big URLs, and it just makes it more muddy. So just like this, you're going to be fine. All right. It's the same thing. If you wanted to go ahead and do things right as you go, here I continue to write, and doesn't matter. It could be in page 3, it could be in page 4, it could be in whatever you want to do it. All you want to do, if you have to cite again for that second article that you just read, there you go. That's where it would come. You don't have to work. And any other thing, any other time, right? Any other time you want to cite that first article, same exact thing. It could be on a whole different page as long as you're telling me exactly where you got this information from, right? So it doesn't need to be a bunch of just numbers all over the place. You want to do them strategically spread out. I just wanted to go ahead and show you exactly what we're talking about here as it goes. So that is a good tutorial over the in-text citation, the footnotes in Chicago style. They're real easy once you start getting used to it. Of course, that first time there's always a learning curve. All right. You're always going to need a bibliography because this again shows the reader what exactly you are talking about and what you used in your paper. All right. So bibliography at the end is going to look a little bit different. And let me go ahead and tell you a couple things that it's going to look different from. All right. Number one, you see that there are periods, and you see that the article, the author, excuse me, their name is last name first and first name last. So in this case, there are little subtleties. Do not get caught up by having your punctuation messed up. You will be graded over this. So please make sure you go ahead and do this. And also, you're going to notice a couple things with bibliography. So let me go ahead and show you. So again, period here, right? You're also going to notice that you want to use the entire page length of that article. All right, it tells the and the reader exactly how many pages this article is over. The URL link, again, like I said, I'm going to keep that optional for you because again, we don't want this large big thing of URL. I will know where to find it. But you're also going to notice a couple things. One, it needs to be in alphabetical order. So of course, C coming before R, this needs to be moved around. Right, and you're also going to notice it is a little bit of a way to do it, but let me just tell you, this is how it goes. I know you've always been taught that you have this first line to be indented. In the case of the bibliography in Chicago style, the second line needs to be indented. So you just, like I did right here, I just went ahead and I gave myself enter, tab. That's it. All right, so you're going to see here, this is exactly how you want to do your bibliography. Last name, first name, second, period, quotation over the article title, period, followed by the journal name, followed by the volume, the number, 2014, colon, page numbers of all of them, and the URL link. Okay, that is how you want to do that bibliography. So again, I want to just give you this overall tutorial how to do it, so this way it'll help you out a little bit more as you start going through your research. Again, please make sure you are looking at your research guidelines, any of the assignment sheet that goes in there, the syllabus as well. All right, but this is just like, it has been a very general way of looking at it. Okay, hope you all enjoy it, and I hope it all helps. All right, this is that online Purdue OWL that I was telling you, Purdue Online Writing Lab. So it's a really good, it keeps it updated right here on Chicago style. Okay, all right, good luck.